Welcome everyone to Young at Heart session number 181F, as in finale. For this is the final segment, bringing you to the conclusion of The Thanksgiving Visitor by Truman Capote. And I'm Father James DeLucio with the Paulist Fathers here in the Rectory Library from New York City. So with A, B, C, D, E, F, these 6 segments, which you could watch in succession right away, or do a little bit each day, as is your wont and schedule permits, we will come to the end of the Thanksgiving Visitor. So I'll continue. We know now that our young hero is hiding in a smokehouse where they're preparing the pork to become ham and all those sort of things. And we know that he's been discovered by Queenie the dog and his dearest friend, Miss Sook. The hunger that dire sensations had numbed now hit me like a belly punch. I gnawed the drumstick clean, then stripped the pulley, the sweet part of the turkey around the wishbone. While I was eating, Miss Sook put her arm around my shoulders. "There's just this I want to say, buddy. 2 wrongs can never make a right. It was wrong of him to take the cameo, but we don't know why he took it. Maybe he never meant to keep it. Whatever his reason, it can't have been calculated, which is why what you did was much worse. You planned to humiliate him. It was deliberate. Now listen to me, buddy. There is only one unpardonable sin: deliberate cruelty. All else can be forgiven. That? Never. Do you understand me, buddy?" I did. Dimly. And time has taught me that she was right. But at that moment, I mainly comprehended that because my revenge had failed, my method must have been wrong. Odd Henderson had emerged. How? Why? As someone superior to me. Even more honest. Do you, buddy, understand? Sort of. "Pull," I said, offering her one prong of the wishbone. We split it. My half was the larger, which entitled me to a wish. She wanted to know what I'd wished. "That you're still my friend." "Dumbhead," she said, and hugged me. "Forever?" "I won't be here forever, buddy. Nor will you." Her voice sank like the sun on the pasture's horizon, was silent a second, and then climbed with the strength of a new sun. "But yes, forever. The Lord willing, you'll be here long after I've gone, and as long as you remember me, then we'll always be together." Afterward, Odd Henderson left me alone. He started tussling with the boy his own age, Squirrel McMillan. And the next year, because of Odd's poor grades and general bad conduct, our school principal wouldn't allow him to attend classes, so he spent the winter working as a hand on a dairy farm. The last time I saw him was shortly before he hitchhiked to Mobile, joined the Merchant Marine, and disappeared. It must have been the year before I was packed off to a miserable fate in a military academy, and 2 years prior to my friend's death. That would make it the autumn of 1934. Miss Zook had summoned me to the garden. She had transplanted a blossoming chrysanthemum bush into a tin washtub and needed help to haul it up the steps onto the front porch, where it would make a fine display. It was heavier than 40 fat pirates, and while we were struggling with it ineffectually, Odd Henderson passed along the road. He paused at the garden gate and then opened it, saying, "Let me do that for you, ma'am." Life on a dairy farm had done him a lot of good. He thickened, his arms were sinewy, and his red coloring had deepened to a ruddy brown. Airily, he lifted the big tub and placed it on the porch. My friend said, "I'm obliged to you, sir. That was neighborly." "Nothing," he said, still ignoring me. Miss Zook snapped the stems of her showiest blooms. "Take these to your mother," she told him, handing him the bouquet, "and give her my love." "Thank you, ma'am. I will." "Oh, Odd," she called after he'd regained the road. "Be careful. They're lions, you know." But he was already out of hearing. We watched until he turned a bend at the corner, innocent of the menace that he carried, the chrysanthemums that burned, that growled and roared against a greenly lowering dusk. Such poignancy in the writing. These people are so real, aren't they, though? Each and every one, but especially our narrator, and maybe even more poignantly, Miss Zook. She always gets a tug at my heart, this dear, dear lady. And to know that she's not going to be with the young man much longer. He lets us know that. It brings a real depth to the story about the shortness of life. 2 little comments on it. It's very good. As Miss Zook, her kindness and her thoughtfulness of others, a part of it, I think, is in fact because of her consciousness of death. When we know that we don't have long on this earth, why not be kinder? Why not be more patient? Why not try to be more upright? So that was beautiful. The second is he's writing as an adult looking backward. But Truman Capote is, I guess, much more part of the secular world than the spiritual one, even though there's a deep spirituality in the way he presents Miss Zook. The secular world likes to think, well, we live on in the memory of others, which is a half-truth, because that is true. We do. But faith says we too live on fully, and that in death life is changed, not ended. So we live on in a communion of saints, and her love for the boy, basically Truman Capote, I mean, they're both still there. They're there among the stars, and they're enjoying the joys. They're even enjoying Queenie, and they're now enjoying St. Francis of Assisi and a cavalcade of magnificent, marvelous people, just like you. So remember that, and let's live patiently, kindly, as much each day, and treat each day as our last. That's a good Thanksgiving memory. The other story I was going to read, which is even more beautiful than this, is called The Christmas Memory. This edition, in the modern library of the world's best books, has both the stories. But A Christmas Memory is actually even longer than The Thanksgiving Visitor. So I will let it be, and I'll recommend it to you to read at your own leisure. And really, I think every household should have a copy of this and read it to your children and your grandchildren and great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews, godchildren. There's so much beauty and sensitivity to share. I hope you have a wonderful week, the second week of Advent. I hope my little exercise in small segments has brought you peace of mind and enjoyment. Lots of love to all of you. Thank you so much. There's a small core of you, about 45, who tend to watch these things on a regular basis. So you have kept me going during this pandemic. It was very kind of you to do so. So lots of love to all of you until Friday when you tune in, if you tune in, to Young at Heart. And don't forget Luke Live Online. I did record another session earlier today. Luke Live chapter 4, verses 31 to 41. So enjoy that too if you wish. Bye-bye, everyone. Wear your masks. Oh, I've got a new mask. I should put it on for you, even though now this is getting longer. This came from my friend Sheila. And you will recognize those of you of the Christian denominations. Who's on the mask, can you see? There you go. It's the Lord. It's Jesus, spreading out his love and grace to everyone. And you will by wearing your mask. Bye, everyone.